All right. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the house, Grace, tonight we have Mr. D.P. Brown, and he's talking about the theme of thieves, which is his book that's on Kickstarter. It launched actually today. So
Yeah.
we're going to be talking to him about that. And we're also going to be talking about storytelling versus writing coming up next.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam, the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday, November 8th. It is voting day all over the country today.
Good luck.
And we're coming to you live. So yeah, make sure you get out there and did your thing. But we are coming to you today to talk to you about some fun stuff, creators who are doing what they love, which is telling stories. Yo, what up, Anibal? So if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, comment below. If you're in the chat, just like Anibal did, say what's up. Big shout out to Anibal Arroyo. And make sure you hit the bell so you know when we are going live, which is usually on Tuesday nights. We're going to be doing Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. That's going to be our thing. Usually we go live on Thursday mornings as well on the Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew. This week we're going to have a little change in schedule, so we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But yeah, man, we are live. We are back. Man, it's been quite a couple of weeks. The campaign ended for this in my toilet, and I know you had a topic on the Crazy in 10 or Less where you were going to be talking about the law. Right after, what happens right after you finish? Right. So yeah. You know, that'll
be for the next. That's to be the next Crazy 10 or Less.
Yes, it's actually something that we all go through. I think, right? Because you have 30 days.
It's
intense.
It is.
You know what I mean? And when it's done, it's like okay.
It is a phenomenon that can cause depression. It can cause, it makes you like. It's like let's say you went on vacation for a month and you're doing nothing but partying, right? And you're just celebrating and partying and drinking and whatever, dancing and doing all your thing. And then you get home to an empty apartment and it's crickets. And then you're like, yo, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do? The phone's not ringing. There's no bartender, right? There's no cocktail. And you're like, there's no DJ. And you're like,
yeah.
What do I do with myself? Right? That's the effect of a Kickstarter. 30 days, you're hustling, trying to get the word out. And when that 30 days ends, you're like, how come I'm not getting any likes? Should I be posting today? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? You know what I mean? It's like this crazy, weird feeling you get where he's like, crickets.
Yeah, the aftermath. Yeah. The aftermath of the Kickstarter. Yeah, well, and it's like that's when you have to put on your I guess your shipping hat on if you're not doing it to the backer kit and you have all these other things to do. But it's not the same as what you're talking about, what you're describing. That thrill of the chase, that adrenaline rush of will I get a pledge today? How many pledges can I get today? Like all of that stuff, which is draining, bro. It is
exhausting. It is meant, it is the most. It's like, you know what? It's like it's like high school, right? right? You've been eyeing this girl. You don't think she likes you, right? But then word on the street says, yo, she thinks you're cute, right? So then you're like, oh yeah, and you're doing everything to try to get her attention, and then you finally do, and somebody else got her, right? And you're like, what the hell?
Damn.
And then you're back to square one, like wah wah, right? It's like, what do I do, right?
Is right.
You know,
Is
I
right.
wrote all these poems. You know, I bought Stetson cologne.
Jesus, wow.
Stetson, remember Stetson? I went back in time. Yo, Stetson,
you said which cologne? I'm surprised they say Cool Water cologne. Maybe that was a little after you. Remember Fahrenheit?
I graduated from Stetson to CK. Remember Calvin Klein? CK?
I remember Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
You never wore like Cool Water cologne. You never wore Fahrenheit and the curves of back in the days.
The last time I wore cologne, I was 22.
Wait, you never wore cologne at work, or you're not supposed to? What up, Michael?
Nah, man, I just got my natural pheromones, bro.
Whoa! You got. What do you wear? You wear that French cologne, Sudor.
I want to clean that's real as ivory. It's got to be 99.44.
You wear that Spanish cologne, bro. That Spanish cologne, Sudor.
Nah, man, it's either zest or ivory. Zest fully clean. Zestfully clean.
Interesting. Yes.
And I haven't worked cologne. Cologne bothers me, bro. It gives me a headache. Yeah. So like, you know what? Just let the we weren't born with cologne. I don't need it. So just keep it. As long as I, do my due diligence every day. My clothes are clean. I'm clean. I'm good. More good in the
Yeah, I mean,
Ode they funk.
Or they funk. That's it. Or they funk. Yeah, man, by Samuel Vera. I'm telling you. Sudor by Samuel.
Yes. Ode to do. But yeah. So the things have been going good. Tomorrow, for everybody who backed the campaign, check your emails. You'll get all your digital copies tomorrow. And start checking your mail, because Friday everything gets shipped out. So everybody who backed There's Nail in My Toilet, everything gets shipped out on Friday, and you all should be getting your rewards next week. And that'll end that whole series. And the landing page will go up at the end of this week for book 4, which is officially going to launch January 3rd, 2023. And it'll be a party. I mean, the squad from the Craze are coming through. The OGs are coming through, Arroyos Compoyos and Johnny Syfax. They're all coming through, so it's going to be a party.
But we're hoping that you've confirmed him. It's for sure. It's a sure.
He confirmed.
Ooh, wow! All right.
Yeah, he said it. He said to me and anybody. He wrote it in writing. I got copy. I took a photo of it. I like snap.
Okay. I mean, listen, that's still we will have to see it to believe it. We'll have to see it to believe it.
I know.
But yeah, no, that's going to be a good time. And listen, we are 19 episodes of episode 500. Episode 500 will be debuting. I don't know when we'll get there, but it's coming. Yeah, hell yeah, big time. So we have a lot of things planned for Catch the Craze next year. Oh, okay. For Catch the Craze next year. So you want to stay tuned. To all of our faithful listeners and watchers of the show, thank you very much. We have some special stuff coming up for you guys. And to all 645 subscribers, tell a friend, tell people you know. Be like, yo, these guys are dope, man. You guys got to join the fandom, and make sure they subscribe, because we're trying to get to 1,000.
I know. I've been working my Obama smile every day. I'm like, it's just not working. I'm like, come on.
That might be the problem, Sam. That might be the problem.
Stop acting up. That
might be the issue, my dog. But but definitely, listen, 19 episodes, episode 500. I've been talking to Sam behind the scenes. We want to get some stuff going out to you guys, new things coming out for the fans. So, stay tuned, but make sure you give us a like if you're watching this right now.
Oh, we almost have 1,000 videos on the channel.
Yes, we do.
So if you're new to the Craze, we got videos that go back all the way back to 2005.
Word.
When we first launched that channel, and then we left it alone for 10 years. But we have almost 1,000 videos on the channel. There's so much content there.
A lot.
from behind the scenes, convention setups, how to navigate at a convention, how to sell an artist alley, from interviews from celebrities to independent guests to, puppeteers and musicians. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a whole slew of content. So if you're new to the channel, check it out. Go back some episodes. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. And if you do want to be on the show, if you want us to interview you, and you want to join us here, people will be in just a few minutes. Then make sure there's a link in the show notes for Calendly. We are booked pretty much all the way out till Wednesday. When are we booked?
Right now, we're booked all the way through February. I opened up some Wednesday night dates, but those are only for sponsors. So you can book those open slots, but that's a sponsorship spot. So those are only for anybody who's looking. They have emergency that they want to promote a book signing or campaign, and they want and there's no anything available. There are some open spots on Wednesdays, but in order to secure that spot, you have to go to the sponsorship page and so select the sponsorship level before you can book it. But for all the Tuesday night episodes, that's booked all the way through February.
Word. And if you haven't done so yet, check out getyourmeds.com with a Z. So you can get cool t-shirts like this one right here. Yeah, check it out. Check out the website. I got my books out there. Russ 5377, The Adventures of Wonder Duck is up there as well. So make sure you check the website out. Also, coming up November 20th, I will actually be at a convention. I will be at the Long Island.
Hold on, George. Really?
What?
Really?
What's up?
Come on. Tops in the Bronx. Tops in the Bronx. Vegas. This is news.
Yo, I made the segment. Damn, dog. Yes. Big shout out to Mark Torres, who hit me up the other day to go and speak at the Long Island Comic Book Expo. That is November 19th to the 20th.
That's big
out
stuff.
in Long Island. Yeah. I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be on a panel. We're going to be talking about Kickstarters. So make sure you hit that up if you're in the New York area. Long Island Comic Book Expo, November 19th and 20th. Our panel is on Sunday from 2 to 3. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll be on the panel with JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. We've had JD.
I want to be at JD Rosario.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to it. To it. So make sure you head out and check us out. That's going to be, again, on November 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. We're going to be talking about Kickstarter, and we're going to be talking about our experiences and what we've done and what's helped, what hasn't helped. So yeah, so check it out. It's gonna be fun. JD's a cool dude, man. He's a fun guy. Can't wait to meet him in person. So
he's on another level. He's on another. He got energy for days, bro.
Bro, JD, big shout out to JD, man. He's been doing his thing for years. He's got quite a big catalog of books.
He keeps pushing the limits, bro. Now he's doing toys. I'm like, yo, bless you, bro, because my pockets ain't that deep. That's it. I go a little further in my pockets. I got lit. I'm like, you do the toys. I'm good.
JD's not a businessman. He's a business man. So big shout out to him. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't met him in person, but it'll be a good time. So make sure you head out there November 20th. That's when we will be there. But the show is a 2-day show, 19th through the 20th. I've never been. I know you've done a show in Long Island before. I think Eternal Con.
I did Eternal Con. Yeah.
That
was a cosplay event. That was a cosplay. The Comic Cons have become pop culture events. They're not really not Comic Cons.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
And that's what's frustrating about it. I did a convention out here in Texas that was sold to me as an independent Comic Con, but it was really a pop culture Comic Con. It was more of the novelty vendors and the toy vendors that were making all the money. And the artists in Artist Alley were struggling. And so those days, hopefully, you have to do like the really big events in order to try to make money, because unless the small event is really catered to just comics. But if they have cosplay on the roster and toys and all the gaming, you're gonna have a hard time because you're gonna be overshadowed because I think typically the Artist Alley is just money to pay for the celebrities, because it really doesn't get the attention. It's always put somewhere that's tight the space, between, the space that you're sharing with other artists, you're bumping into each other, everything is squeezed in. So you don't really get the love that you would get if you're a bigger publisher. That's
The obligatory, yes,
right.
yes.
That's
We
right. Don't
gotta
get
we
me
gotta
in
make
my
that we gotta
soapbox.
make that a segment, man. Yeah, yeah. If you're a soapbox,
I
yeah,
know.
we definitely gotta make it a segment. Enough said. But and speaking of enough said, rest in peace, Mr. Stan Lee. What do we go to our topic today about storytellers and
Storytellers.
writers, Sam? Why don't we do that
Storytellers.
next?
Let's do this.
It's time for your medicine.
Storytelling versus writing. Please explain to me why you decided to go with this
Bro,
topic.
it was sparked from one of our conversations on the morning brew. We're constantly always talking shop. Sam and I, we have we have like our daily meetings sometimes
Yes.
around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. We just be on the road. I'll be like, we'll talk. And we did a show last Thursday where I forget what the topic was last Thursday because I'm getting old. But the topic that kind of came up, the whole storytelling writing versus the writing thing came up. And so I was like, yo, you know what? That's interesting. Like, because when you think about stories, and you think about writing, are they the same thing? Is storytelling what about the same thing as writing? Do you think those are the same things? Talk to me, Sam. What do you think? What is your distinction?
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby. Come and talk to me. So I'd say this is the problem. I think writing is really just now they're both art forms, right? But I think writing is just basically this for in my opinion, is one man's opinion. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. Back up,
Humble
son.
opinion.
So in my opinion, writing is basically regimented, right? The who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's writing to address a topic, an issue, or whatever it is, and it's just really, chronologically placing things in order as like a timeline. I think storytelling is drawing people in. It's the art of world building, right? It's giving characters life. It's giving birth to characters, giving them a past, present, and a history, right? And then linking each character to a theme, an overarching theme in the story. What is the purpose of this story? How do they connect? You know, um, you know, who are the villains, and who are the heroes, or you know um who are the love interests? Is there a love story within the story? So I think storytelling they're both art forms, but storytelling is really captivating an audience and bringing you into and letting your imagination um complement the written word. And that's my opinion on the two.
Yeah. I think we are born storytellers. We learn how to write. I think that's how it goes. I think ever since you're a little kid, whether you got in trouble and you're trying to get out of it, and so you make up a story to get out of that trouble you just got into, to your mom, to your dad, to your uncle, whoever, you're storytelling, right? We are born telling stories. I
Right.
think as we get older, we learn how to put those stories on paper, and that's when we become writers. Because, like you said, writing is more of a technical thing. I was talking to Aniba, who's watching a little bit about this. He actually sent me an article, and it was a blog by another writer who basically said, where is it? Writing communicates an idea or facts. It speaks to intellect. Storytelling evokes an experience in the reader. So you get like it's an emotional thing, storytelling. Whereas writing is more like you said, you use the word regimented. It's more of I'm just going to tell you a fact. I'm going to tell you an idea. I'm going to write it down and explain it to you, right? Whereas storytelling is more you're trying to get some kind of emotion out of the person you're telling the story to. And that's where the world building comes in. And that's where all of that stuff comes in. Yeah, I think we're on the same page with that, pun intended. That, yeah, I think there is a difference. There is a difference between a storyteller and a writer. Um, and I think it's a pretty big difference, dude. I think it's a pretty big difference. I think storytellers can learn how to write. I don't know that a writer can be as good of a storyteller because I don't think you can teach that. Black
Wise guy. Wise guy.
Yeah, Michael. You know what? Did you see that, Sam? Did you see Black Adam?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see it this weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's still in the theaters. But yeah, I'm planning on going to see it this weekend. But
But
from what I hear from everybody I've spoken to, other than Michael Sammartino, everyone liked it.
no, see, I'm with Mike. I'm with Mike. I see. Okay. Maybe Mike is extreme right now, saying it's whack. I don't know that it's whack, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not good. It's definitely not good. I guess storytelling. You know what I mean? Going back to our topic, I think that there were a lot of things that were left out that weren't explored. Like there were things like that in it, and you watch it, you make up your own mind. But he mentioned that, and it just sparked that also because I think that that's part of it, right? Storytelling is that you have to is that emotion. It's got to be. He just keeps going.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's funny. It's funny, and there's just a lot of different forms of storytelling, whether it's through music, whether it's through film, whether it's through text. And
Right.
it's the tools that you use to draw in the audience, right, and captivate the audience. Whenever you can spark a reaction, you know that you've done your job.
Hmm.
When you can evoke an emotion from somebody, and you can get them to question what's happening in the story, where you get them to react to what happens in the story, you get them to maybe cry, to laugh, to want to see more, scream at the screen, then you've done your job because that's what you want. You want the engagement, and the audience is basically your measurement, right? So I think when you invest in the time when you invest the time in your characters, and for the love of creating that world, um, it'll set you apart from it. When I think writers, I think like um, the news. I think writers who write for the papers, right? That they want the who, what, when, where, why, and how. They got to get the facts out. Blah 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 blah. And it's really not. It's only sharing facts. Uh,
Bro, that wait, how was that? He was there. Michael did a second show. He did two shows in a row, my man. How was it? I couldn't make it, dude. I couldn't make it. I had a prior engagement, but that was whack. You're right. You're absolutely right. Go ahead, Tim. What were you saying?
yeah, he says not good, but I still enjoyed it. Apparently, so did the rest of the population. Yeah,
Not the
but
critics. The critics didn't like it.
critics never like anything.
No, but because they're judging it based on the technical parts of it,
Well,
right?
they're measuring it against the Avengers and stuff like that. I think you got to treat everything as a standalone
No,
film.
I don't think they're measuring it against the.
You know what I think? I think Black Adam is going to stand the test of time, and it's going to be one of those movies that people watch on rewatch.
Watch it. You got to watch it, Sam. You got to watch it.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I
that's
know
what
that's what I'm saying. You got to watch it, and you know what it is. A lot of its popularity is The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah,
But that's it. I mean, listen, it's not. It hasn't made the money that other comic book movies have made.
right.
Um, you know, but just watch it. Watch it. We'll talk about it. Watch it. We'll talk about it. So, but yeah, no. I mean, back to the storytelling thing. I think that you're right. Writers do write the who, what, where, and how. Right. That's yeah. You went dark over there, dog.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Oh wow.
You were in the shadows. But yeah. But I think that because storytelling doesn't have to be writing, bro. You can be a visual storyteller. You can write you can tell a story through pictures and no words. You don't even need words. Yeah, these guys are going in. What did he say?
Critics never like anything unless it's European or very indie. And Mike says Sam's correct. Sam, sir, you are correct. I think no.
You're incorrect. He said.
I read it my way.
Oh, you read it your way. Of course.
There's that fake news. So, um, but what were we saying?
We're talking about the who, what, where, and we're talking about storytelling.
Yeah. So I think for me, when I think about journalists, and versus authors, right, and storytellers, I just think based on the topic separates you, the outlet that you're working for separates you. But I think storytellers are the ones who really just captivate an audience. When you can talk about a character, when you can, I mean, everyone says lack of storytelling, but I see more chatter about Black Adam than anything. And I just saw something about Black Adam is not going to be distributed in China. So I wonder what that's all about. So that's gonna hurt its box office sales compared to the rest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but Black Adam's about to be destroyed by Wakanda forever, so that's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
When does that come out?
can't stand that comes out this weekend, the 11th.
Oh hell no, I'm
So
not going to movies then. I'll go on.
yeah, Black Adam is going to be destroyed by
Yeah, because
the
those
government.
lines, those tickets are already sold out.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's
Yes,
ridiculous.
those tickets are sold out.
Yeah.
It's 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 funny. What kind of reminds me of remember when they released the next
Fast and Furious,
Star Wars?
Oh.
It's been decades between the first three. Then the next one, what was it? The Clone Wars.
What, the first one?
First one was it Clone Wars?
That came out? No, it was what was the name of the first? You guys know in the chat. You guys know what that is. What is the first one? The Clone Wars was the second one. What was the first one? I forget.
Anyway, the first one. I remember when it came out. I don't know if you ever remember the Ziegfeld Theater. The Ziegfeld was the last standing.
Was that the last movie there?
That was the last theater. Phantom Menace. Thank you, sir. Phantom Menace. So my boy Robert Garrett, rest in peace. We got the tickets. He was waiting in line. He was waiting in line for hours until I got off the work because the line was wrapped around 2 blocks long. When I pulled up with some Starbucks because he was waiting online for hours, and everyone was dressed up in cosplay when the Phantom Menace came out. Every news station was there filming because it's the Ziegfeld Theater. It was the one oldest historic theaters in the world, and it had the velvet, curtains and all that stuff, whatever. And there's a guy playing the theme song to Star Wars on his guitar, the whole bit. And so I remember that. So I think when I think about the Wakanda, the second part, I think the kind of appeal that it has is similar to the appeal that Star Wars had when it came out with the Phantom Menace.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to do great, and I've heard it's good. And this is from both critics and the peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, no, that was the topic for today, guys. What do you guys think? Storytelling versus writing. Do you think there's a difference? Do you think it's the same thing? Why are we even talking about this? But that was the topic for
huge difference.
Oh, huge! Look at you.
Huge difference.
All right,
but yeah. So that was So if you like it, give us a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And leave your comments in the chat. And so right now we're going to run to commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to DP Brown about his comic series right now on Kickstarter that just launched. The Theme of Thieves, issues 1 through 3, a time travel mystery. But if you haven't subscribed to Catch the Craze, listen to our previous guests. They'll tell you why you need to. Here we go.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast. What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the craze. Making moves on your own. Catch the craze. On your grind in the streets. Catch the craze. Join the movement. Catch the craze.
Welcome, DP Brown, to Catch the Craze.
It's the dog pound. I love it. What up, DP? How you doing, man?
All right. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Love the hat, bro. Love the hat.
Thank you. I got the lucky spot in tonight. I was like, oh man, okay, I might as well grab this. Yeah. You guys are booked all the way out until like the mid next year. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab this.
Did you just book this today?
I just booked this
because there was somebody that was booked there, and I guess they must have dropped off. So
it's a blessing because the launch was today, and I was like, okay, you know what? You guys sent me the link and everything a couple weeks back. I was like, oh man, I can't get on there then. And I just happened to look today. there you go. Lesson,
Yeah, look at that.
God is dope.
Wow, that's almost as good as the person who won the $1.9 billion in
Somebody
LA.
won?
Oh, right. Oh,
Yes,
man.
one person won 1.9 billion.
Conspiracy. C-O-Conspiracy.
Oh man, but DP, welcome. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on the show. And sharing. You have your book that's out right now, The Theme of Thieves, issues 1 through 3
Yes.
on Kickstarter. So that's awesome. And you have 31 days to go in your campaign, 16 backers deep. So yeah, no, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get into that, man, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? How you got into this whole thing? Give us a quick little rundown.
Of course, DP Brown, you see right there on, the tag right there. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm a huge Browns fan. I'm a huge Cleveland sports fan, period, and everything. So on my channel, I talk everything about Cleveland, just big up that anytime that, it's possible and stuff. I see you got the Jets on right there. They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, I went to Cleveland. I went to see the Browns play when Mayfield was still there. And that's a rocking stadium, dude. That is a rocking stadium, bro. And that's what I love. Like even like our fan bases. We don't win a lot, but we're passionate about our team, dude. Like we love our sport, our teams. This isn't something that I wear just because. Like you can't wear a Jets fan and be like, oh, you're not a Jets fan.
I totally feel on that dedicated fan bases. So you got to represent when it's time to represent.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, yeah. So I've been in the comics like all my life and everything. My dad gave me a comic way back when I was like 5 years old. Couldn't really read and everything yet, but I was super enthused by like the artwork and stuff. I believe it was a Spider-Man. It was like my first comic, and that's really got me into like just hardcore reading and everything. So it just hands on from there, and it's been something that's been in my soul, in my DNA, all my life and everything. I love comics. I love everything that has to do with like superheroes and stuff. Loved art, just period and everything. I got to the point where I used to draw like in high school and everything, and we used to make comics back then. But at that point in time, comics weren't as popular as they were right now. They were sort of like, on the back end of like, okay, nobody wants to, talk about comics and like, mainstream culture. Who wants to do that type of stuff? And better yet, who will actually make a living doing comics? You're not going to make money doing that. So I went in another direction and tried to do just the main stuff, but was collecting for like so long and stopped collecting because prices got too high and everything. And then finally I was like, okay, I want to actually make my own, I have ideas just running in my head and everything. I want to actually make my own comic, before I leave this earth and everything, do something I actually want to do. So that's where Theme of Thieves came up, it's been like an idea that's just been baking in my head, for so long. And just me being just that, comic, book aficionado and everything, I decided I wanted to actually make a comic and actually put it out there, not for the fact of, well, not only wanting to make it, public and everything, but just for my own soul and everything. So I can say I did this, I finally did what I dreamed of doing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I love how it starts with a comic at 5 years old, right? You read that comic and you just automatically become hooked. At any point, did you want to work for the Big Two as a writer or in any capacity?
I have to say no. And the reason being because while I love like, like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and all like their superheroes, I never saw myself as writing for, any one of their characters. I always wanted to do something on my own and create something from like the ground up. I can read someone else's stuff and get excited about that. But for me to actually, bring ideas to the table about somebody else's stuff, I would have to really work hard to do that. So, I mean, I would love to get paid doing that. I wouldn't turn
you gotta turn it down, right?
But I would say that, not at that point.
Yeah, no. I think that part of like writing your own stories gives you that freedom to kind of write whatever you want. And I've read through your like the quick synopsis on your Kickstarter where towards the end you say, the theme of thieves is think Quantum Leap meets Lost meets The Wire, and so these are some great stories. I mean, Quantum Leap, they brought it back now. They're redoing it, but I was a huge fan of Quantum Leap back in the days, and I'm a huge fan of just the idea of time travel. That's why, like, Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies. What was it? What is it about time travel? Is that something that you are also like just?
I'm a big time travel fan. Love the Back to the Future trilogies. Basically, any time travel movie, Terminator, anything that has to do time traveler's wife and everything. Anything that has to do with time travel, I'm already right there and everything. Lost, that's one of my elements in the book that had like time travel and stuff in it, going back and forth between the periods. I just love it for whatever reason, going back into the past or even go all the way to the future to see how things are. It's an intriguing idea to me. I mean, it's a fun sci-fi trope to play with.
Right. No, I agree 100%. That's why when I saw that on yours, I was like, yep, legend to that bad boy. I got to read because I just find it so interesting how everybody kind of like attacks that I guess that trope, like you're calling it, because it's not easy to write that. So tell us a little bit about what the story is and how you're incorporating time travel into it.
Yeah. So the theme of Thieves is about two teens and a mysterious being who travel through time to try to solve a mystery of why people are disappearing in the present. So as you just said, it's kind of like a mixture of like Lost, Quantum Leap, The Wire. And notice those are all TV shows, not actual comic books. I'm very influenced by like multimedia stuff, not only just comics, but just content, media stuff out there, period. From like book novels to comics, of course, to TV stuff. Very influenced by like how the writing style, how to build character. You guys were talking earlier in the show about storytelling versus writing and everything, building character, world building and everything. I think you can do a lot. You could do a really a great deal in the comic setting because you have time to actually spread issues out. And just just spread like stories out between like the storytelling versus like writing aspect. So basically that's what the theme of Thieves is about. The first issue is basically like a primer prologue. I have a prologue in it, but it actually character builds towards like the main protagonist, Rebecca and Jason. They're in high school. They're going through like trials and tribulations, typical like teenager stuff, getting bullied and everything. I talk a lot about that, how they react to things that are happening in like society and stuff. But this is just a primer to what I thank you. This is like basically like a primer to when we get into like the big shenanigans as far as like time jumping in like the Quantum Leap type phase.
It's interesting, man. Like I think that it's so important to have a pitch ready, right? And I think that incorporating what you just did, where you have 3 TV shows, and if you're a fan of any one of those things, I think you're like, yep, I'm gonna check that out. That's genius. Is that part of like your marketing for the book itself? Tell us a little bit about the marketing side of things, because as creators and as indies, we got to wear different hats. You can't just be a writer. You got to now do other things.
Oh man, I mean, totally. You guys were talking about doing Kickstarters and everything, and actually having to do the work, not only do that creative work and actually creating a product and everything, but actually doing the business part, which I call like the oil and water. The oil is like the the water is like the creative stuff. The oil is like the business part, where they don't really mix, but you still need one doesn't really work without the other. Right. So if you're a creator and actually wanting to put yourself out there, you have to do some of the legwork as far as the business side in order to get it out there, especially if you are looking for this as like a long-term, career goal, even if you're looking at it as like, a time, sometime hobby. But if you're putting money into it and investing into it, I mean, you want to get a little bit of something back.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. All right. Now this is your 3rd issue. So so now 1 through 3, you can obviously there's a catch-up tier within the campaign as well. The first 2 campaigns, what have you seen a change? Have you seen a growth in fan bases? Like what have you seen throughout the 3 that you've done so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed enough to make, you know, to gain like over 130, you know, backers and everything between like the couple campaigns and everything. And I have seen growth between like what I do at conventions versus, you know, what I do in like the actual, you know, Kickstarters themselves and everything, and hoping to see like a big growth based on all the work I've done, you know, promoting at conventions and everything, and just like, you know, working the social media circuit, you know, online and everything. So the good thing about being on a third Kickstarter is that, I mean, I'm not stopping. You know, so it has to be some sort of level of some sort of level of like growth there in order to continue the whole process and everything. I mean, if you're in like a business type setting, they say, you know, do it like a 5-year type of plan, where the first year you lose money, and by the time that you get to the 5th year, you're at the point where you're actually either breaking even or, you know, going over that level. That's how I'm looking at like the Kickstarter. That's how I'm looking at actually, you know, the whole career thing period, as far as like making this comic at least.
Yeah, yeah. Is it going to be an ongoing series, or what are the plans for it?
The plan is to make it as ongoing as possible. If I end up getting picked up, you know, to continue, not to financially put my stuff in it and continue doing Kickstarters, that would be awesome. But, you know, as long as, you know, God bless me with the ability to keep writing these things, and I keep on having these artists actually do the work to draw it. Yeah, absolutely.
No, no, absolutely, man. And listen, the campaign looks great. The artwork is amazing. Talk a little bit about your artist. How did you find
Yeah.
your artist, and you know, how long have you been working with them?
So for the first 2 issues, I was lucky enough to find a guy named Dan Ekus. He did the first 2 issues. I actually live in Pittsburgh. I'm from Cleveland and everything, but I've been here for like about 25 years now. I get it all the time from like these Steeler fans. And
Dude, I was gonna say you're in the same division. That's crazy.
I know, but my wife is here, so I had to stay, you know.
All right.
It's a reason. It's a reason. But yeah, so I met him at a convention here called Steel City Con and everything, and he was like doing his work. And I really liked a lot of his stuff, and I was looking for like more of a simplistic type of style that was different from what I was seeing with, like, you know, Marvel and DC stuff, where you had like action sprawling across pages and stuff. And that's fine for them, but it's not really what I was looking for myself. I'm more what I was looking for, like a Watchmen type, you know, 9-panel type story thing, you know, story type of setup, to where I can actually tell a story with panels and characters' reactions and movements and everything that was really defined, that was really defined by like my writing and everything. So he was able to actually depict that in a lot of his work. So I was real blessed to have him you know, work with me for the first couple issues. Suffice to say, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do with me on issue 3. So I was able to pick up another artist who actually worked with Marvel and DC. So I was actually real blessed with that. To do the 3rd issue. His name is Ruben Gonzalez. He actually did like the artwork and the coloring, which saved me some change, you know, doing that. So he was actually able to do, you know, all in one. I was satisfied with his depiction of the characters, and it was a long, arduous process trying to find an artist such as himself, you know, because not everyone's able to depict that, and that, you know, wanting to draw that type of you know, setting and style. But I was good. You know, he did like Infinity Heist for Marvel, Anime Girls for DC, and a couple of different, you know, Scarlet Spider for like, you know, Marvel and everything. So was really blessed to find him. Alex Zia, she did the coloring for the first 2 issues, and Marco Della Verde, he did like the lettering. He does lettering for all my work.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I think part of when stuff like that happens, where like you lose an artist and you have to now replace them, the continuity. I mean, the continuity of the artwork. Did you find there was a big difference, or were you guys able to kind of match it?
Great question. Super great question. So that was my main thing. I wanted to find an artist who gave me continuity from what I did like the first 2 issues. I was very hesitant on the coloring thing. And I at first wanted to go back to the colorist I'd had for the first 2 issues, but I was liking what he was doing so much that I decided to just take a chance and roll with it, for this third issue. So with the third issue, while the pencils and the inks are sort of like, in continuity with what we did like the first two issues, the third issue is sort of like okay, you're either going to get on board on this thing or you're just going to like, get off the train and everything, which I'm fine with. Not everybody's into it. I'm banking based on my writing style and the grabbing of you as far as the story that, Marvel and DC do it all the time as far as switching artists out and still continue with the story. So why can't I?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, and we say this all the time, even with Sam, I think artwork will sell you the first comic, but a story will have them keep coming back.
It should.
And that's what should happen. And I'm glad that it's working out for you in this way. The pages look amazing, man. They really, really do. And I see what you're talking about with the grids, the Watchmen kind of style of writing. Now, do you give your artist a complete script, or are you kind of like doing the Marvel way, where you kind of tell them this is the page and this is what I see, work it out? Or are you going panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, sort of like how DC does it?
So I do panel by panel. So I give them a brief description on what I want, and they basically, interpret it from there. Of course, I include like all the, the dialogue and everything. Yeah. And basically I'm giving little tidbits on, characters' reactions, how they should react. And so far, so good. They've been interpreting, what I've been doing, what I've been describing like really well. It's kind of funny because the first issue, I wanted to do all like thumbnail sketches.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I was going to maintain that element of control. You got to draw exactly what I want. This is exactly. But with artists, you got to give them a little bit of freedom. And my artist Dan Ekus, he was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to have him tell me, DP, just let me do this, and you make your decisions from there. But I got you. I got your back. And fortunately enough, he was able to give me something good.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, no, that's incredible. I think that is part, and that's part of the process, right?
Yeah. This panel you're scrolling right here, it's the one of the protagonists, Jason. He's getting bullied at a party and everything. So I talk a lot about like teen issues and basically coming of age type stuff and everything. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I think, and we're probably, we might be the same age. We grew up on that kind of stuff. Like we grew up on that coming of age kind of stories, and I think that. I like the fact that you're injecting a lot of that stuff into your stories here. So these look great, man. This look great.
Yeah, I try to inject like a lot of I don't want to say political, but I inject not only just like the sci-fi element stuff, but just like a way of life, how people are reacting to things around them, not just hey, Brandon's in the house. Appreciate you. I want to and make sure that you guys check out his stuff too and everything. He's
been on the show. Brandon's a buddy of the show.
He's
great stuff, dude. He is good. Yeah.
But yeah. So I inject like some cultural elements and stuff into my work and everything. So my stuff is not for like young children and stuff. It's suggested for mature readers. So while it's not like any hardcore nudity or anything like that, I do deal with like, subject matter that's definitely more mature. And sometimes it may be like either, not so much offensive and everything, but you may be taken aback with a little bit of language and stuff. So, it's definitely not your straight Marvel and DC stuff. It's good independent because I actually have control over what I want to put on the page.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Now, as far as the story goes, I know you're saying it's ongoing. Are you doing this in the form of arcs? Are you breaking it up into like just here's the arc for that, and then you go into the next one? Almost like when you talk about, is it episodic? Almost like we talking about The Wire, we're talking about, or even Quantum Leap, for example, where like he would go through an adventure. It would be like the 1 hour show, and then that's done, moves on to the next one. Is that kind of sort of like how you're writing this, or?
Great question. So this third issue here actually finishes off the arc.
Okay.
Basically, it's like a 3-parter from the first issue. So the third issue sort of like, the tagline was it all comes down to this. It all ends here and everything. So basically it's finishing out the first character arc before we actually go into like the time travel hijinks. And then like future stories are going to be written as if they're sort of episodic. They may go like 1 or 2 issues. or I'm sorry, 2 or 3 issues with, art, but it's still going to have that underlying, like, serialized story element, but it'll have like a beginning, middle, and end for the time period that they're in. And the unique thing about them traveling through time, so it's a couple things. With my time travel, they can always be popped in and out anytime. So they don't know the wherewithal or why they're time traveling or how long they're actually going to be within a time period. So they may be in the middle of a mission or like, something that's going on. And all of a sudden they get popped out and, going to something else. Unlike with Quantum Leap, he had to wait there until he was finished with his thing. So I sort of like, twist the elements a bit. And then in my world, people disappear randomly. Okay. So the mystery about it is, it's been happening since the 1700s. And basically when it started there, it was just like, random here and there. Now it's escalated to a point where people are just used to it, where it's a way of life and people are reacting to, those disappearances. You could be at Thanksgiving, all of a sudden a family member disappears. You don't have death, where it's off like finality and funeral. You have like what's called evanescence, which is like a disappearance, and you don't know what happened, and you leave people in a lot of grief and stuff. So this thing has been happening throughout time, and it's been escalating. So more and more people are gradually disappearing. Strange things are happening in the world where something may end up happening, or something's going to happen later down the line, that you're gonna have to stick around for.
Where did the idea come from, DP? Like, where did your idea to do this, like, where did it originate? What sparked it?
So I was a big fan of Leftovers. And then I think it was just like a fear thing too. So not only was the Leftovers a thing that I liked a lot, but I think even before that, I was always just afraid of, what if somebody just disappears? What happens then? How do people react to that? How do people, take to that? How do family members, how do friends, how do they look upon, like, their lives and everything? What do people do when that happens? And I wanted to build a story around that. So I started, just adding characters and elements and stuff. And, Leftovers, had their thing where the 2%, left and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's a really good concept. Damon Lindelof is a really great, person I aspire to be. He's one of my favorite writers. And I was just super into, just comic sci-fi stuff, and added those elements into it as well. And here we are. I got like a third campaign going.
That's awesome, man. So it starts with a concept, and then you build around that. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm always interested in how it starts. Sometimes it could start with a character, a word, a title. You know what I mean? It really can change. Are you working on anything else, DP, other than the theme of Thieves, or is this your baby? This is what you got.
My baby. This is this is my retirement. this is it.
Good for you, man. Good for you, dude. I mean, listen, this has been fun. We really enjoyed chatting with you. And for those who are watching, we're talking to DP Brown. He's got a campaign right now on Kickstarter called The Theme of Thieves. We've been talking about that. If you guys are fans of Quantum Leap, Lost, The Wire, these things, all of these elements are in it. And if you haven't done so yet, check it out. There's going to be, I think we have a link in the chat, and we're also going to have the link, obviously, in the show notes. But DP, are you doing any conventions in the next few months, next year? What do you got going on?
I'll end up doing the Steel City Con next month, and the next year I'm going to do at least one convention, or the aim is to do like at least 1 to 2 conventions a month for like the rest of the year. Now I was able to get like some time, set aside and everything in my personal life, so I'm hopefully able to actually dedicate a little bit more time to actually putting out this product and getting it out to like the world. Make sure that you guys are going on to my website, themeofthieves.com. I am giving out a free digital PDF copy of issue number 1. Okay, so there you go. For anybody who's listening to this podcast here, go to themeofthieves.com and sign up for the newsletter and everything. Sign up for like the email list and get a free copy of the Theme of Thieves issue 1. Okay, and then when you like it, make sure that you go back to the Kickstarter and back to Kickstarter. the physical copies and everything.
There you go. There you go, DP. Hey, listen, the Browns have to beat the Dolphins this weekend. I'd appreciate if you did that, please. That would be great. And and definitely, dude, come back whenever, man. This was fun. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about your baby, your dream, your passion. And we look forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to reading it when I get it. So yeah, no, thank you for coming on.
Oh, I appreciate you there. It's funny too, my man. You know, he didn't say much. The crazy man and everything. Guess what? Guess what we got here?
Oh, hey now.
so he's like a that's what the kids call him in the book. So they got like a little rhyme and everything. It's called crazy man, red, black with the yellow tie, dead, and everything.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah. So
I'm all about the rhyme.
I know when I see that, you know.
That's awesome.
Like it. Sam's even wearing the colors a little something, little red, a little yellow, little black. Look at him. It's like you guys set this up.
He could be, you know.
That's what we do. Yo, don't give away my alter ego, bro. Right?
DP, thank you, man. Appreciate you. And hopefully we run into you at one of these conventions, man. I'll be looking out for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Definitely thanks for having me on.
You got to have a connection.
You got it. Take care.
All right, so it's DP Brown, Dog Pound in the house. So the theme of Thieves issues 1, 2, 3 on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the chat. The link is in the summary. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Fantastic.
I love it, man. I love when we get guests on the show that are lively like this. You know, they got their stuff.
Passionate about what they do. Bro, and that's what we always try to say, because sometimes it's hard. It's hard for us when we have a guest that doesn't know how to sell what they're doing, and they come on and they're whether they're afraid, they have anxiety, whatever it is, and they don't know how to portray that energy out, because it's energy attracts energy. Bottom line. Yeah. So if you're full of life and you're happy about what you're doing and you're having fun, people are going to have fun with you. You know, it's just like that person that's sitting in the middle of a crowded train that starts laughing and can't stop laughing. Eventually, everybody in the car is going to start laughing. At first, it's like, "What's wrong with this weirdo?" And then you're going to start laughing, and then it just becomes a domino effect, right? And so, so if you're going to be a guest on Catch the Craze, man, bring your A game. Come, bring it.
Yeah, no, we chill, man. We talk. We just hanging out. Just don't get nervous. Just picture you being at a.
I told George he needs to be nice, but he doesn't.
At a bar, or you're at an after party at a show or something like that, and you just just talking about comics. It's what we do. And other than, not just comics. If you do anything, whatever it is you do, we love the creative process. If you're
it's funny. There was a listener who listens or watches Catch the Craze who hit me up and says, "Look, I was at a Comic-Con and I saw this artist that I would love to hear their story on your show. How do you vet your guests?" I say, "Here's a link. Just send it to them and let them book themselves on the show and let's make it happen." He said, "That's it." I said, "That's it. Let's make it happen." And I said, "We're booked, but we'll see them in February." But again, this was a fan that ran into an artist that they would love to hear more about them, but they would like to hear on this show. That's pretty dope. That's
awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, that's great. Hey, what up, Barney? How you doing, buddy?
In the house.
Been a minute. Definitely. And listen, talking about interviews, Story Comics, another podcast that interviews. So make sure you check that out. Story Comics.
Yes, check out YouTube. Barney is a fantastic host. Awesome. Fantastic host.
I had a good time on the show, man.
He has a relaxing atmosphere. It's I don't know. I'm dating myself, right? But this is what you're gonna know. You're gonna know where Sam, what decade, what era Sam came from.
1945, 46.
Mr. Rogers, right? He has this way of talking and personalizing it when he's talking to the audience, right? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? When I'm on Barney Smith, I feel like it's like that the only person that exists at that time is me and him, right? And it's like he makes you feel special.
Did you just call Barney Mr. Rogers real quick?
You know what? That's a compliment in my eyes, brother. You try to throw shade on my party, bro.
I'm not trying to. I'm just asking. I'm asking you a question. It's a yes
I'm
or no.
gonna call the boys. Hoo.
It's just a question, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna give you address.
Listen, Barney's great, bro. Barney's great, and he has very good, poignant questions, and it's a fun time. So if you guys haven't done so yet, make sure you go to Story Comic. Thanks, Barney. Well, he's gotta say that now. What's he gonna say? He's gonna be like, "You guys terrible. You guys are terrible.
You guys are terrible.
You guys suck." Nah. I had a good time, and if you guys haven't done so yet, make sure you check out Story Comic.
Yes.
Where he also talks to guys like us, just indie creators, man. We're trying to spread the word, spread the love, spread the love.
I like the fact that I've been watching the Theme of Themes, and the back account continues to grow. So if you've watched it and you backed it because you're watching the show, thank you so much. That's why we spotlight our guests. So thank you all for supporting for the campaign.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, this was a good show. And again, the Morning Brew has been moved to Friday. George has to go to court, and to verify who he is. He tried to vote, and they realized it was fraudulent.
I'm not proud. I'm not proud of these things, but
Yes. So we're moving into Friday mornings. So join us on Friday morning for the Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew, where we're going to discuss. We're going to follow up on the conversation that I started on how artists right now is just impacting the concept artists. They're being challenged on whether to prove that they actually created the content versus an AI. So that customers are hiring them for projects, but they want them to prove that they actually did it and they didn't use an AI. So that's pretty interesting. So we're going to follow up on that conversation on Friday morning on the Morning Brews. That's going to be interesting. We'd love for you to participate in that conversation.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, man. We had a nice little chat.
Yes, we had Andy Arroyo, we had Dismay Comics, Story Comics, Michael San Martino. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And for everybody who's been watching us on Facebook and Twitch, we appreciate you too. And it will be streaming on all the audio platforms. So if you're going to be listening to this, if you are listening to this right now on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, leave some feedback, give us a 5-star rating, and come over to the YouTube channel and help us grow this channel. Because when we grow, the indie community grows. And the more eyes that are on our guests, we've accomplished what we set out to do, is to spotlight the little guy and give them the exposure that they deserve, because it's a tough road out there and the game is just non-forgiving, and everyone is coming in here with their A game and they're hustling, and we want to make sure that about them. Again, we appreciate you. Thumbs up to everybody. And with that said, I'm seeing the Crazy Man Rivera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are.
It's just easy. It does not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.